Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. It's the Gaming Saloon for February 10th, 2024, with your host, Space Breaker 2448 and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi.
We get to talk about the thing that everyone else has been talking about for like an entire week. Well, after everyone has probably gotten tired of talking about it and hearing about it.
And we won't get to talk about the thing that everyone will be talking about next week because that's how the show wound up getting spaced.
It's always how the show winds up getting spaced. We don't get to control that. This is what happens when we're bi-weekly.
It kind of makes me wonder if we just accidentally screwed up and skipped a week, if it would, straighten out ever, or if this would just perpetually happen.
It will perpetually happen. If we attempt to fix it, it will just go the other way.
Also, the thing we tested, I feel like actually worked.
Hooray!
Because I feel like that was a lot cleaner than I've had some of them.
Hooray!
Also, you don't need to see that now. So. Because at this point, I follow your lead on transitions from there.
But yeah, we get to talk about an Xbox thing, a Fortnite thing, that's also a Disney thing.
You didn't catch the goof, did you?
No. Oh, on the title, yeah, I saw.
Okay. I mean, I do. I thought of that and I was like, should I say this? No, I've still got the goof thing, don't I? Yep, I'm gonna do it in there.
A maybe Nintendo thing, Embracer being dipshits again thing, a Sonic thing, and then a Sony thing. But before all that, tell me, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
That I haven't done on a stream?
Either or.
Because, I mean, that I haven't done on a stream, honestly, Marathon's the only thing. I've kind of started dabbling in it as I'm building the archipelago.
Mm-hmm.
Because thanks, Doom. I knew that was going to happen. That was part of the reason why I didn't try to do that one yet. I knew as soon as I tried Archipelago with Doom, I'd be like, yep, now I want to do Marathon. And yeah. However, it did also give me an idea to start looking into for the Halo one that I was gonna do. Because it just was not gonna work the way it was set up to begin with. But looking at how Doom is done and how I'm having to do Marathon, I'm wondering if there's a key to that for Halo kind of deal.
Hmm.
The only thing I can think of would be it can't be tied to checkpoints for Halo. It would have to be tied to loading points. Because the loading points are consistent, the checkpoints are not. So that's where I'm like, is that going to be enough for a player to realize that, hey, that's a check? So that's one of those, it's gave me thoughts of how to go about it. It's just I've not thought of anything particular. But outside of that, I mean, the archipelagos I've been doing on my channel, the Fortnite, mainly festival, but yeah. As I said in pre-show, I'm finally starting to get to the point where I'm not really comfortable with doing the songs on hard, but it's one of those medium's too easy kind of deal. So I'm forcing myself to attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, outside of that, not really anything else.
Ghost Trick on stream continues to be really good. You very much can tell that this is by the Ace Attorney crew because it is their style of humor, and I enjoy it. I remember surprisingly a lot about the puzzles and stuff of the game, even though it has been years since I've seen the full playthrough of it. And I do mean years. I don't know if that's just because the puzzles are laid out easy enough that you can pick up on what you need to do, or I just remember them. I'm not sure which.
Probably just remember them.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember, like, when I was in the chicken kitchen, one of like, oh, we go back in time with Lynn to 4 minutes before she dies, but we have to go back in time on the driver because we can't save Lynn otherwise. We have to stop his death in order to save Lynn in the process. And I don't know if that's obvious off the bat until you get the dialogue and stuff that has, hey, you can't save Lynn. You have to go save the driver, and you got to find a way to get to the driver. But besides that, I've played Persona 3 Reload. Some, not a super whole lot. I'm trying not to burn myself out on it. So I'm kind of taking it slow.
Fair.
It helped that a few days later, Honkai put out its Penacony update. And I was like, I'm going to play through the story update after we got done on Monday. Guess what happened?
What?
I finished all the story content that night. I ran through the story content because I was invested, which says a lot because the last story content we had for the Xiaofu stuff, not so much. This, I'm invested in the fact that every person I've met has lied to me, manipulated me, or betrayed me at some point in this story. Great. I would like to crack somebody in the kneecaps, please, because this vacation sucks. But 3 is good. The Honkai update is very good. I am invested in seeing where this goes because this is like Act 1 of this planet. So spoilers for the Penacony update, I guess, just to talk about it a little bit. You know how I said we were probably going to be solving a murder mystery?
You're solving a murder mystery.
We're solving 2 murder mysteries. Surprise! 2 people have been murdered. We know how one of them died. We don't really know what killed them, though, because to explain what the hell Penacony is. Penacony is just this giant hotel, essentially, that allows you to go into a dream that's segmented into 12 parts that are all different. Unfortunately, beneath that dream is like the real, like, dream of Penacony. And in that dream there is a death dragon. Like a meme death dragon, not in like the internet term use of that term, like a normal use of that term. It is a dragon that will murder you because it is just the embodiment of death, and it has murdered one character already. And then we find out just as the update or the story content ends, another character has died, but we don't know how or why. Or what's going on there. So we're properly solving that one, but also the other character has died. Another character has died to this death dragon that's just kind of showed up out of nowhere, and we're not sure where it came from or what's bringing it. Along the way, we have Government Stooge that is quoting The Godfather by telling us he has an offer that we can't refuse, because if you can't tell from the 30s, like, architecture and stuff of the part of the Penacony dream that we're in for this update, or all the jazz music, or the fact that it's all kind of like that time period America themed, this place is ran by a mob because they're called the Family. That is a nice way of saying that they are a mob. Because Penacony used to be a prison planet that the prisoners took over from the government and turned into a fucking, like, Disney World, essentially.
I mean, you don't go against the family.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the sister of one of the guys in charge of the family, or like bigwigs of the family, is the second murder. Unfortunately, it seems like she has been replaced by a chaos gremlin from the thieves guild that is full of chaos gremlins. I guess I'm not sure what they're called, the mass fools. This chick is a chaos gremlin, very clearly, in terms of her writing and all of her stuff. She can shapeshift into people, and clearly she's been replacing this character to some extent, because we make a comment about the second person that got killed, how their voice is not quite right. Ever since we ran into them when we were at the check-in line. So I don't know how long the second person's been dead, or how long this chick's been replacing her. So
that's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
Yeah. Then there's the memo keeper person who more or less goes around the universe like collecting memories and stuff from people. And she's only in it to get memories and stuff. She doesn't give a shit about anyone else. Then there is Sword Lady. I bumped my mic. We find out that she's essentially the avatar of a death god, seemingly. Or like she's is imbued with the power from a death god, and like she kind of hangs out with us a little bit, and she has like a lot of suspicions to her, and she's kind of lied to us about that because she keeps saying that she's was it Archon of the Galaxy Rangers, except she's not. So yeah, like I said, everyone we've ran into that is from this place or at this place has lied to us, manipulated us, and/or betrayed us. Because the first murder is this chick called Firefly, who more or less is terminally ill with a made-up illness for the game that like you eventually like slow down and like desync from the universe until you just stop. It's like I forget the exact name, but it's related to entropy, because that's a part of the name of it. I don't remember the rest of the name. But she's in the dream because it's the only place that she can like be normal and be not in like whatever thing is keeping her alive. But we kind of befriend her and stuff, and like kind of start to try to like bring her on the Express because, hey, we get a chance to recruit somebody to the Express because we haven't gotten that opportunity before. And oh no, the Death Dragon murdered her right in front of us and we couldn't do anything about it. Well, shit. But yeah, that kind of is like a lot of what the story content is. There's a lot of other details in there, like the fact that 3 former members of the Astral Express got off on Pinacani a long time ago, and we're trying to find information about them. And the invitation we got to come to Pinacani for this festival that's being held, that's open to like the public, and it's brought in all these different factions and stuff, has a message encoded in it that is only used by Astral Express people. Meaning either one of the people that was on the Express that is like can live a long time, because there are species in the game that can live a long time, or a descendant of one of those people sent the invitations, or at least was a part of sending the invitations, but we don't know who. And then there's the guy who founded Pinacali, or one of the founders of Pinacali, called the Watchmaker, and he has a legacy that everyone is after. And also no one knows the real story of the Watchmaker. Everyone has a whatever story that they've made up. It's needless to say, there's a lot of mysteries and stuff, and I am invested because it's clear there's details in the game that helps you figure out some of the stuff and start to put pieces together. But also, we have no idea. Because like we could just pack up and fuck off. Because why are we getting in the middle of this? Why should we? Unfortunately, the Pinacani dream state is sinking into the stuff it's made out of, and it will kill everybody if it goes down that far. So we have to stop it from sinking. Otherwise, thousands of people will die as everyone else bickers about this stupid legacy thing. needless to say, this vacation took a left turn into fucking Shitsville. And I cannot wait for like 2.1 when we continue the story and see where it goes. Outside of that, Balatro, I had tried out the demo for that. It's very good. A roguelike using a deck of playing cards is not a thing I thought and it's an idea you wouldn't think would work, but they do it really well because you can apply modifiers to your different playing cards and stuff to like get bonus chips and stuff. Because the basics of Balatro is you play your hand of like 1 to 5 cards, so you don't even have to play a full 5-card hand, even though it's poker rules. Like if you just play a pair, want to play a pair, you just play the pair. You don't have to play 3 more cards unless you want to like just burn those cards, because you can also discard cards. But you're trying to get chips, and then like the card value will score you a certain amount of chips, and then whatever like hand value it is will score you chips as well. And that is multiplied by a multiplier that you can affect by getting like Joker cards or getting other bonuses and stuff. And so you're trying to get a certain amount of chips to beat the small blind, the big blind, and then the boss in that order, like 6 times over. And then the bosses have special modifiers. Like the first boss you run into will discard 2 cards from your hand randomly after you do your play. So whatever you play, you're losing 2 cards out of what remains in your hand, whatever it's going to be, whatever RNG decides. And then like the next one is like a big step up in chips. So you have to like really push. And also help you out. Like I said, you can modify your playing cards. You can add playing cards to the deck. Granted, you start with a 52-card deck, so you're starting with a lot of stuff, but I think you draw 9 cards per turn, unless like not unmodified in any direction, you draw 9 cards per turn. What else? There's like consumables that can also like buff stuff. Planet cards that can level up like the value of your hands, so you can make 2 pairs worth more. Like you can make a 2 pair probably worth more than a straight, which, you know, was really good because you have a better odds of getting like a 2 pair than you are getting a straight, depending on how you've got your deck set up. But yeah, it's really good, and it comes in I think in like 2 weeks. I think it's also on our release list. Yeah, it comes out the 20th. But yeah, it's really good. It scratches that itch that like Dicey Dungeons and like Slay the Spire scratch of just like, hey, I just want to do a quick round and stuff and just go and just like throw cards. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. It doesn't really matter because like you're done fairly quick. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Outside of, hey, I still play Monopoly Go because my mom plays it, so I play it. And we trade stickers, which I am confused why they're called stickers in this game. I don't know why they're not just called cards. You have these collections of like 9 like pieces of art that relate to a theme, and they call them stickers, and I don't know why. Because they look like cards. But that's all I got. Anything else before we hit the news?
No.
All right, then. First and foremost, Disney has partnered up with Epic for something. I'm not entirely sure what this is. So Disney has put $1.5 billion into Epic for a multi-year project to create an all-new universe that spans the various Disney properties, including Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Avatar, and more. They'll be able to create their own stories and experiences, share content, and express their freedom in experiences powered by Unreal Engine. That's generic as all fuck. That says nothing. And that is pretty much it. How do you feel about a Disney thing in the Fortnite?
You mean them trying to bring back Disney's like toy to life thing, because I have a funny feeling that's exactly what this is supposed to cash in on.
You know what's hilarious is that they have kept that aesthetic alive just in regular toy form.
Yep.
Because it's I think toy box figures. Because I've seen reviews of them, and I'm like, that is just Disney Infinity, the Disney Infinity aesthetic for things that were never in Disney Infinity. Which still upsets me because I'm like, you had a good game and then you squandered all the possibility out of it until you were like, hey, what if we do the thing we should have done to start with? Nope. Canceled. Squandered it all to hell.
Soiled it.
I mean, it's got to be something really cool and interesting for me to care. And I don't know what cool and interesting thing they could do to make me care. Like, I don't know. I know what I'm about to say. Let me hopscotch different Disney locations and stuff and interact with characters.
They already did that.
I'm aware. I realized it as I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm just describing like the Disney half of fucking Kingdom Hearts of hopscotching fucking planets and interacting with Disney characters. But I'm like, isn't that why half the people got into Kingdom Hearts to fucking start with? Is like, oh, hey, cool, I get to interact with Disney characters and fight alongside them and beat up bad guys. Like, what is so complicated about that?
I love that you immediately realized, but still said it anyhow.
I gotta put it out there because I'm like, what if you just took out all the Kingdom Hearts bullshit and just did that? Why is that so hard? Like, it doesn't even have to play like Kingdom Hearts. If it was just like some really basic action game.
No. 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 That was the problem with Infinity.
Yeah.
No. It's almost like they've tried this stuff and have floundered it in one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Here's going to be the big thing. If this partnership is something to the tune of Disney saying, here's money to develop it, here's the properties you can use, and that's it, they pretty much just walk away from it and say, keep it within a family-friendly setting, and here, it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only way that it's going to do anything decent. If Disney has too big of a hand in anything pertaining to this, then no. It's going to be another failed project that Disney has attempted to do.
I'll be honest, the last thing I want is what this picture is implying, which is, would you like virtual Disney World? And I'm like, no. No, I don't want what is essentially a lobby I interact with and do stuff in, because that's boring and dumb, and I don't understand why companies think that is a cool thing. And players want that.
Is it really, though, implying that?
I don't know, something about looking at this and I'm seeing all these different buildings and stuff, and I'm like, this looks like a virtual Disney World thing. Kind of. Like, that's what I'd be worried about, because no.
Well,
that has never been good.
The reason why I say, is it really? Because, yes, it does kind of have that theme park look to it.
Mm-hmm.
But look at some of your Fortnite custom level stuff.
Yeah.
Where you have a hub world that would look as disjointed as this picture, But say you walk into, say for instance, the Marvel building, and then you have some kind of comic themed game mode that's in there.
Yeah.
I could see this being that kind of a concept.
Yeah, the last thing I want is to be like, you can go watch sports in the ESPN stadium. And I'm like, why would I boot up Fortnite to go watch sport? Why would I just not watch sport elsewhere? Like that kind of stuff. Like there's no game here. There is just interact with stuff. I want game. I am playing Fortnite to play video games. I'm not playing Fortnite to watch TV.
The corner up there's kind of implying that direction.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing, truthfully. If it was linked to a pre-existing Disney account, you would already have access directly to that without ever having to break it. It could be something to where maybe you're playing other games, decide that you're done playing games and want to watch something. Well, it may or may not be easier just to pivot to that and connect and go.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, I could see maybe that end of it. The problem that I would more have with it is really PC side of things. It's usually quicker to boot up a browser and just go.
Exactly.
It would work perfect for consoles. Consoles, mobile, I could see both ends of that it could work.
Mm-hmm.
Because then rather than having to open another app, it's right there in front of you. You're already in something.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to watch ESPN Plus on this, in this thing. I have ESPN Plus because my parents wanted to swap off the live TV service they had, and the two better options was either YouTube TV or more or less the Disney Plus bundle. And, oh, hey, we get more with the Disney Plus bundle because you get Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN Plus, but like, that's kind of the, that's cool to have. That's not what we need.
But while that might not be something that you'd be interested in, that might be something someone else would be, though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the same time, would you say that about literally anything else that Disney has show related? It's one of those, you got to kind of weigh that too.
Yeah. I just want game stuff. You know what I want? I want things like, 1 versus 100. Like, if you're gonna make this big lobby thing and stuff, like, let us like go into like a game. Like, I'm trying to find a building here that would work for that. Like, I don't know. There's not really a building I can think of an idea with.
You know what it kind of looks like, though? So, it kind of looks like this might be more geared VR also.
Has Epic done anything with VR?
I don't know if they directly have, but I would venture to say that the Unreal Engine has been developed around that. And if that's the case, then that would also mean that it would be, something that could be implemented into Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now I have an idea. Like, use this ESPN Stadium as an example. Say, Epic's got Rocket League and stuff. Wouldn't it be cool to be like, hey, I want to queue up for Rocket League? And not only can you like watch a Rocket League match, normal like free cam watching it and stuff, what if you could sit in the stands and watch a Rocket League game happen? I don't know how exactly that would work. That would probably be stupidly complicated, but
it would.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm thinking of, just like, hey, here's this cool game going on. You can spectate it and like watch people play games of it. Or you can hop in the like queue up for the game itself.
But I wouldn't see that being there either.
Yeah.
What this more looks like to me is either a VR kind of concept, or if you notice, you've kind of got, at least with this, 3 major appeared areas. It looks like you've got obviously your entertainment corner up there.
Yeah, because you got Disney Plus, Lucasfilm, Marvel, ESPN, Pixar, 20th Century Fox.
You've got your could be games in this main one in the middle there.
It is weird to see Nightmare Before Christmas stuff because it feels like Disney forgets that exists.
They do.
Because that's Nightmare Before Christmas, the V8 Cafe. That's a Cars thing, I think. Kind of. I think.
Stark Tower.
Yeah. The Wreck-It Ralph Tower. Oh, Monsters Academy? Monsters Inc. Academy? Because that's the Monsters Inc. Inn.
But I could see that being like maybe the gaming focused. And then probably your adventure focused would be that last one. So I could maybe see that one more being akin to like the Lego Fortnite concept.
It has the Disney, I think, like cruise line, like lobby, I think. Like building.
It's one of those, I could see them looking at it in that method. And at that point, that would kind of make sense. Especially if you could rig up ways to have big lobbies. Because you could do watch parties of stuff if you just wanted to do that over in one corner. Say some of your bigger content creators say maybe that's what their intent is, but then they've got some people that really don't want to do that. They kind of just want to go check out the rest of the stuff. That wouldn't disrupt anything then. This looks more content creator driven rather than just general player driven. This looks like concepts for big hub worlds for your bigger content creators to just let a bunch of people in with them.
Yeah.
Is it going to be accessible to everyone? More than likely. But it doesn't look like that's what the goal is here. And, I mean, granted, at the end of the day, it pretty much is going to be Disney World, but digital.
Look, if I can't build a lightsaber here, what's the point?
I mean, they've had lightsabers in the game.
I know, but you need to... There is literally a thing in Disney World that lets you build your own lightsaber. If I can't build my own lightsaber in the video game, what's the point?
I mean, who's to say you couldn't?
I feel like it's to be more daring them, like, hey, let me build my own lightsaber. Let me custom build a lightsaber.
But it is one of those that I kind of feel like this might do something, but it probably is not gonna... It's probably not gonna be anywhere near as big as it could be for one major reason. Epic kind of already beat Disney to the punch. Download Fortnite. You now have 4 games. Because everyone forgets to save the world. Just saying.
To be fair, Epic also forgets about Save the World.
It's bad when the Save the World assets get used more in the created stuff than Epic even uses them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like it's just going to get foreshadowed because of that.
Alright. Anything else on this then?
Nah.
Alright. Here's the thing that everyone's been talking about all week.
The Crossbox.
Yep. So essentially, The Verge, which is why everyone is like, oh shit, this is real, because why the fuck would Verge post bullshit? Has essentially said that a bunch of Microsoft exclusive titles are looking to go to PlayStation 5. For example, in the new Indiana Jones game that they're working on, PlayStation 5. Hi-Fi Rush, PS5. Starfield, PS5.
If it can handle it.
Yeah. I believe Gears in general going to PS5, even though there's no current Gears game at the moment.
Then Gears would probably be their test.
Gears 6 would be the next one?
No, you misunderstood what I just said there completely.
Oh, did they port Gears 5 then?
Or one of the remasters as a test. See if people are going to buy it. Kind of the same thing Sony did with their PC ports.
Have they remastered the original 3 or just the first one?
I think just the first one.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
But yeah, this has caused an upstir of like, oh god, Xbox exclusives are going multi-platform. Ah!
Yes, the non-existent Xbox exclusives are going multi-platform.
Yeah, because technically they've been going to PC for like 3 years now. Just putting that out there. So now this past week, Phil Spencer has went, we're gonna talk about this next week. Stay tuned.
Basically saying, everyone, hold on to your pants because you're gonna crap them next week.
Yeah. And more or less a lot of the conversation has been, well, this looks like Xbox is getting out of the console market. And it's like, didn't we just talk about the leaks from the FTC that show us that they're still doing Xboxes for like 6 years in the future? Xbox, we are not losing Xbox consoles. I think what Microsoft is trying to do is go, we have this service called Game Pass, and we're not getting any more people signing up for Game Pass on Xboxes or on PC at the moment, because apparently their numbers have stagnated. Guess how we get new people to sign up for Game Pass? We make Game Pass available on other platforms, i.e., Game Pass app on Sony, on PlayStation, Game Pass apps on Switch.
If anyone cares to recall back, I'm wanting to say it was about 3 or 4 years ago, at one of the E3s, they made passes saying something similar to this exact thing.
I believe it's Play Anywhere.
Where you're supposed to be able to, whether it's on the console, on your PC, or your phone. Mm-hmm. If they were already thinking about phone and that's the only thing that hasn't came, then chances are they were thinking about competition consoles.
Mm-hmm. And if we can't run the game natively on that console, we will run it through xCloud, because that is an option included in Game Pass. Well, a higher tier of Game Pass, mind you, but still.
Switch and Switch 2 would be locked more than likely to cloud only.
Which they've already, that's not uncommon for Switch. There's several major releases that are cloud only. Like
PS5, I would foresee it having native support, but I don't think it would at launch. I think it would have to be cloud at launch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because the architecture is different.
Yeah. I think this is what they can expect to happen next week, because that has literally been their plan for several years. Is how can we become the Netflix of video games? This is how we become the Netflix of video games, because no one else has come as close as them at this point.
Well, everyone that's came as close decided to shy away and back out of it before
or died.
Anything could happen.
Or died. Hi, Stadia. How you doing?
No. Stadia didn't die as much as Google failed to support it.
That's still a death. It is a death from neglect.
I mean, everything's a death then. That's kind of not what I'm getting at there.
Yeah.
They were one of the good ones that actually, cloud service wise, could have rivaled. But because Google wasn't making enough money, because Google fails to advertise properly, they kind of pulled the plug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. People have brought this up, and that is definitely concern about competition in the market and Sony taking maybe a bigger lead off of this if possible. And then Sony gets compliant or complacent, and then that causes problems. Because we know what a complacent, bullheaded Sony looks like. The PS3 era was Sony being compliant or complacent and just doing whatever the fuck they felt like it, regardless of if it was going to do good or not. Which I admit, that is a concern.
But at the same time, PS3 and 360 era, really, there was no true winner. They both went back and forth. That's probably one of the few generations that I would venture to say either side of that console war fence could at least acknowledge the other side. And be like, oh yeah, they've got some good games too. It's one of those, I feel like if Sony doesn't actually put their foot down with the whole porting everything to PC, they're probably gonna be the last console. Because quite frankly, it's not the Xbox Series X, it's the Windows 11 Series X. It's running 11 no different than a computer. You are basically, when you're buying the console for an Xbox, you are just buying the PC parts. It's one of those, it's like, we've not had a real Xbox console since the 360. In all seriousness. Everything Xbox One has been Windows based. It kind of has been writing on the walls that they're gonna back out of the console side of it at some point. I think the only reason they're gonna still hold into it is just because they don't want Sony to get hit with that, oh, you're a monopoly.
Yeah.
I think that is literally top dogs of both companies are like, yeah, we're not going to screw you. We're going to hold in for as long as we can. Because, quite frankly, Nintendo has long since been considered a actual console. And that's not because of specs, that's just because they try to keep everything close knit.
Mm-hmm. Anything else then?
Nah.
All right. Speaking of Nintendo, word is, because bear in mind this is current rumors at the moment, we're going to get a partner direct next week. Not a full Nintendo Direct, just a partner direct. Essentially, I think I mentioned this yesterday in the tweet that's the source of this rumor and stuff. We're looking at a partner showcase next week. We're looking at a Switch 2 reveal next month. And then a proper Nintendo Direct E3 season, May, June. That is kind of the timeline of major Nintendo announcements to come that aren't Pokemon, essentially, because Pokemon will probably have something sooner than that, because I believe their anniversary and stuff is somewhere in the mix of there.
I'm gonna laugh when that's wrong and we get the Switch 2 tease off of this one. I'm not gonna say release.
Right.
Because I don't think we'll get a release window.
Like,
but it wouldn't surprise me if we don't get basics for it. Like what it's gonna look like. Maybe the specs, depending on some of the games.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, it's like, I don't foresee we'll get a full breakdown of everything, but yeah.
I feel like it'll be like how the Switch 1 got revealed, because it didn't have an early reveal that didn't like put a whole lot on the table, but it did talk about some of it pre E3, and I think that E3 that year was like the big showcase of it. Because that's when we got Breath of the Wild and the like.
You mean that's when we got Breath of the Wild because that was the only thing that they were showing that E3?
Yes.
There wasn't a and the like.
I thought like ARMS and stuff. I thought like ARMS and stuff was there. But I am misremembering that E3.
That was only Breath of the Wild. Because that was why we were making the comments of, well then... But it also benefited that Switch came out in March. So they were able to do more directs leading up to that with the other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I don't know if I agree with everyone thinking that the Switch 2 is gonna be end of the year though.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I feel like we're probably gonna see something similar to the Switch release window. Mainly because I think Nintendo realized that actually benefited. Because when we had, with the release and then the drip feed with new games, I feel like that actually helped the Switch.
Yeah.
Of course, at the same time, I also think that, holiday release of a console is honestly kind of a dumb decision.
I feel like getting it out early and then doing like a big Black Friday thing probably works better.
But they won't do it.
Mm.
That's the screwed up part. They won't do that. None of the three have done that. I honestly feel like the Switch's release window was the better play. Because then you've got all year to build hype for it, and then you're making kids want to ask for that next Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not just the new thing on the shelf, it's the new thing on the shelf that I've got a lot of stuff to do with. And I feel like at that point that also then helps, the ones in charge of money decide to spend it to get the most out of it too.
Anything else?
No.
All right, then. Embracer Group continues to show how much of the bunch of dipshits they are. Because, oh boy, have they not... They went from, hey, Embracer Group sounds cool, to, oh god, I feel bad for everyone involved that got bought up by Embracer. Because apparently they have canceled a Deus Ex game. And laid off workers from IDOS Montreal. Which, by the way, they've only just acquired, like, 2 years ago. It was not even that long ago that they acquired IDOS. And maybe even this project in development. Because I don't know if this would be in development pre this cancellation. So yeah, Embracer, still doing terrible. Any thoughts on that?
No.
I just looked over and I was like, wow, this rotate gave Persona 3 Reload a 6.5. Okay. That seems low. Anyway, ahead of its supposed to be premiere during the Super Bowl, I believe, because this is supposed to be one of the trailers at the Super Bowl. We have the trailer for the Knuckles TV series that's on Paramount Plus.
Knuckles and Knuckles.
Yes, that will stream on April 27th.
I'm not going to play the sound because, copyright stuff, but I'm at least going to play it in the background there.
Oh, no, April 26th in US and Canada, and in all other countries on April 27th, except Japan, because Japan will get it at a later date, which is kind of hilarious. For this thing that originates from Japan, you get it last. Why? But yeah, I saw the trailer. It looks cool. It reminds me that, hey, I've still not watched either of those Sonic movies, and I found out something really dumb and kind of hilarious, and I don't know if they planned this or not.
Okay.
So we're supposed to get the third Sonic movie this year, right? With Shadow?
I guess.
I believe it's planned for this year. Did they say when it's... Yeah, it's coming out in December of this year. And we're getting the Knuckles TV series this year. I assume you haven't caught on.
No.
This is the year we get Sonic 3 and Knuckles in terms of adaptation.
Oh, Jesus.
It's in the wrong order, but still, it's Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Well, I mean, to be fair, is it really? Because I'd say a lot of people probably did play Sonic and Knuckles before actually plugging both carts together.
True.
So, maybe not.
Oh. Yeah, I just saw a tweet that said that, and I'm like, God damn it, there is no way in hell they planned this, because this is an internet meme. There's no way they base their schedule on an internet meme.
Okay. The only way that they planned this is if this show technically takes place after the movie. Then they completely planned it, because that was intentional at that point.
That's the part I don't know, mainly because it's very much focused on Knuckles and his one human buddy that he is trying to make, be better, because Knuckles is a man, because he is voiced by Idris Elba.
That's part of the reason why I'm like, I really do need to watch both movies at some point.
Yeah, because like I think Sonic and Tails get a mention in this trailer, but otherwise it's like Knuckles with his cowboy hat from the
Sonic is in the trailer.
Right, but I don't know how much he's in the show.
Yeah. But you said had a mention. No, he was fully in the trailer. Tails wasn't, though.
Okay, they showed what I assume is a clip from the movie in terms of, hey, these are my buddies, with the three of them together, and I'm like, okay, that's from the movie, but I don't know
that
if
one
Sonic...
clearly is.
Yeah,
But there
how...
is another scene, at least, with Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay.
That I would
wasn't
assume
sure.
probably is from the show, but I could be wrong because I haven't watched the movies.
Yeah. But yeah, more or less, Knuckles is here dealing with people who want to steal his power because they want to be Eggman, but are not crazy enough for that. Which, surprisingly enough, Jim Carrey is actually coming back for Sonic 3, even though he's retired. Which apparently he was only going to come back if the script was really good, and apparently the script is really good. And I saw someone's pitch for it that I'm like, you know what? He's probably be on board with that. Because Sonic 3 is adapting Sonic Adventure to a certain extent, right? Because we have Shadow and all that.
Presumably, at least, yeah.
Who else could Jim Carrey play in that movie? If we follow that logic. If he's playing Eggman. He could be playing his granddaddy Robotnik. They got,
I mean, yeah, but there's not really much there.
Right, but they could do it. It wouldn't be a whole lot, but it'd be a chance for him to ham it up as like super evil Robotnik, I guess. Like, it'd be one scene, but it'd be enough. Otherwise, I guess, sort of good guy Eggman for a little bit, depending on how much of adventure they adapt.
I mean, it would definitely have to be more on par with Adventure 2.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they take creative liberties and kind of meld both adventure games together.
That's what I'm curious about, because I'm like, okay, Shadow is here, which is a 2 thing. We've casted clearly Marie to be shot and murdered and or killed in some fashion, so Shadow can be upset with the world.
Yes, so he can be the brooding teenager he is.
Right. But do we like combine that with like chaos? Because like it feels weird to like skip to Shadow and not have chaos in some respects. So maybe chaos.
It does, but it don't.
Yeah.
And I more say that because truthfully, chaos, I feel like with the way Adventure kind of runs that story would actually be more, I would think, more akin to being a Knuckles focused kind of deal.
Yeah, because he is pretty much all Knuckles lore.
Or at least Knuckles' tribe kind of deal.
Yeah. I could see them spin it as chaos is a thing Shadow is trying to bring about, and then he realizes, oh fuck, I've endangered the world. Sonic, we have to go kill this thing. After realizing he fucked up.
Granted, I also could completely just see this being a completely different... Well, actually, no. No. I could see it being almost a pretty faithful recreation of Adventure 2.
Do we have the Faker scene?
If not, then they've blew it.
Do we line for line recreate the Faker scene?
If they don't, then they've blew it hard.
Like, it will feel weird to say.
That would be one of the few times that I think a movie would wind up getting review bombed because of not having a scene that should be there. Well, that's all I could say to that one. Because I could see the internet doing that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I need to watch those. I also need to watch Spider-Verse 2. Granted, some part of me knowing it's like essentially like part 2 or part 1 of 2 essentially makes me just want to go, I kind of want to wait for the second one to come out and then watch them back to back.
Yeah, and I wonder if that kind of is gonna hurt it in the long run. Because I get the funny feeling a lot of people aren't gonna pay attention to the first part of it until the second part comes.
Yeah.
It's a smart decision to keep from having a 6-hour movie. I will give them that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's the Halo 2-3 mentality. Where you know it's a cliffhanger going into it, but you kind of are going to forget enough about it by the time the next one comes out.
Yeah.
So do you go ahead and watch it and stay in the know with everyone, or do you just lag behind and then catch up before you watch the next part?
Or do what I always seem to do. If I don't watch something for long enough, I actually just look up the summary on Wikipedia and just read the summary, and I'm like, all right, I know what happened at least. I have a bad habit of doing that.
Well, you know, you ought to not do that.
I know.
Whereas I'm just perfectly content being like, yep, I haven't seen it.
Alright, I guess anything else?
No.
Alright then, State of Play! We actually had 2 State of Plays. We had a everything State of Play and then a 7 Rebirth State of Play. The 7 Rebirth State of Play was more or less, here is a demo. I believe it's like the con flashback and then a part of the open world segment from early on. It's less than I believe people have gotten hands-on with in terms of a preview event for 7 Rebirth. And also, here is how much Square has confidence in this game. The embargo for 7 Rebirth is ends a week before the game comes out. That is confidence in your video game. That you're fully lifting the review embargo a week ahead of time.
Or that's bad planning.
That too. But other than that, it was just some more gameplay and stuff for 7 Rebirth. But the general State of Play had a bunch of stuff. Dave the Diver is getting Godzilla DLC, along with coming to, I believe, PS4 and PS5 in April. And the Godzilla DLC is vanilla evergreen Godzilla, is not like Shin Godzilla or the new like Godzilla movie -1. It's just regular old Godzilla. I think it's like 90s Godzilla even, based off the design I see. And that's coming out in May. I'm gonna skip that one for the end. New trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2. New trailer for Foam Stars that I read impressions of, and it sounded not great. That somehow doesn't surprise me.
So that one was on the free PS games kind of deal.
Yeah.
I looked at it. I was like, oh yeah, that's the Splatoon knockoff, ain't it? Looked at it a little bit and I'm like, yep, that is. Sure, I'll download it just so I can bash it later.
It is Square's attempt at Splatoon, and from what I've read, it's like, the platforming does not feel super great, and I'm like, ooh, you messed up at round start. You did bad before you even got out the gate because your entire gameplay mechanic is based around platforming. Damn. Screwed up already. Helldivers 2, they got a new trailer. This was fine. Judas, which is coming from the former Bioshock devs that have went and formed their own studio. It sure looks like a Bioshock game. I am kind of interested because I like Bioshock Infinite, and that's about it. I believe Legendary Tales is a VR game that lets you do fancy, fun things with like swords and stuff.
Sounds about
right. Metro Awakening is a VR game. Rise of the Ronin is from Team Ninja. If I can let the player trigger wait for myself. Or not. Fine. But it's like an open world, like samurai ninja game. It looked fine enough. Silent Hill, the short message is a pretty much a tech demo of a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, because the long message will be the full game.
No, the long game is Silent Hill 2. That has nothing to do with short message.
No, Silent Hill's a long message will be the actual game this is a tech demo for.
Unfortunately, the tech demo has went over terribly because nobody likes it. Because it's out now. And then Silent Hill 2,
also known as Silent Hills.
It certainly looks like Silent Hill, like an RE4 version of Silent Hill 2, which I think nobody wants. I feel like they missed what made Silent Hill by making it more action-based.
Sounds about
right. Sonic X Shadow Generations is a remaster of Sonic Generations, but now more or less a Shadow expansion tacked on, where you get to more or less play as Shadow and go through his memories and stuff, essentially, and deal with Black Shadow from his game. That's about all we know. We don't have much other details. Stellar Blade is a very like Nier Automata like action game in a lot of ways. It looks fine, but I'm also like, you're trying really hard to be Nier Automata, and I'm not sure how well that's going to go over for you if you don't have, anything that made Nier Automata Nier Automata. Until Dawn's getting ported to PlayStation 5 with a remaster. V Rising, I don't remember what this one was. It is a Diablo-like. It looks like hooray. And then Zenless Zone Zero is like, hey, we're coming to PlayStation 5 too. And no other details like a release date and stuff, because I would like to play this, because this is Hoyo versus action game, essentially. And it looked cool, and I would like to play it. But the big thing that ended off, and we spent a godforsaken amount of time with 9 minutes. This is a 9-minute announcement trailer.
Oh, was it for Postal Simulator 2?
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach. We are returning to the UPS simulator that is Death Stranding with Hideo Kojima. It is certainly a whole lot of Death Stranding that I didn't care about before, and I don't care about now, because oh boy, is it Kojima's writing that I didn't particularly care for from what I've seen. But the additional thing on top of this is that Kojima is working on a stealth action game in the vein of Metal Gear Solid that is essentially not Metal Gear Solid. I forget what it was called because it was some dumb made-up name. There's no article for Death Stranding down at the bottom. Oh. Fizzant. It's called Fizzant. It is spelled like that, as I put in the Discord chat.
No, it fizzant.
So, hooray, Kojima's working on the thing like that.
It's
cool.
That name does not make me think anything remotely close to Metal Gear.
I don't even know what the fuck this name's supposed to mean.
That name makes me think more like Portal concept than Metal Gear.
It looks like someone's trying really hard to get a certain amount of points on a Scrabble game, and they have just thrown letters on the board in hopes no one looks in the dictionary for it to see if it's a legal word.
So you're explaining every time that I feel like Kojima probably has played Scrabble.
Probably. But yeah, like it looks fine. I know people are super excited and happy about it, but I'm also like, nothing about Death Stranding's plot and characters and stuff, because I've seen it all the way through, makes me very invested or interested in a sequel to this. And here is a sequel to this, and I'm like, I don't get the appeal. I don't get it. Does not compute. Do not understand. Someone spend 5 hours explaining to me why you care about Death Stranding. I would rather watch that than attempt to watch this game. But yeah, how do you feel about this state of play?
Meh.
That's about how I feel about every state of play, if I'm being honest.
Same.
Every time we get a state of play, I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. This looks neat. But nothing makes me super invested and like excited and stuff. It's like, maybe it's because I don't care about Death Stranding or Seven Rebirth, because those are the two big things that come out of these state of plays. So it's like, okay, if I don't care about these, what is it? What will pique my interest? The not Nier Automata game? Maybe, but like, something about it makes me not super confident in it. Because otherwise, I've got nothing else from this. Except, like, I guess maybe Sonic Generations X Shadow?
Yeah, that's about the only thing out of it for me.
But I'm also like, oh, it's a remaster, and it's a game I've already played. I only really care about the Shadow part, because I'm curious what's there. Because it's like, okay, is it just Shadow's perspective on, like, 2 in like every other game, and then specifically Shadow the Hedgehog stuff? Like, that'll be like the core of it, and then you get like Shadow perspective of like maybe some 2 heroes, 06. I forget if there's anything else beyond that in colors levels, maybe, or no, Shadow's not even in colors.
Yeah.
So just those 3. Like those, like Shadow levels from those 3 games, and then like it's mainly just like Shadow the Hedgehog stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Anything else before we hit releases?
No.
All right then, releases. We're gonna go to the 13th with Broforce Deluxe Edition for PS4 and Switch. And then Skull and Bones for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Yes, that is coming out. Yes, I double checked to make sure the release date was real. It's real. For now. We'll see. In 3 days if it actually releases.
It's delayed 3 more months.
On the 14th. My Name is Mayo 3 for Switch. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remaster starring Lara Croft for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Why do you need to put in the starring Lara Croft part? Like, who? No one else has been a lead for a Tomb Raider game besides Laura.
Because that's how it was listed in the first 3.
Was it?
If I'm not, at least the first one I know.
Hang on. Yep. 2 says starring Lara Croft, and 3 says Adventures of Lara Croft. 1 does not. So I'm looking at the box arts. I never knew that. Also, there's Titanic, A Space Between for Oculus Quest, because I just saw that one, and I'm like, is this you exploring the Titanic? Question mark?
Before or after?
That's a good question. You know, it's not a good sign when the first link I click procs my antivirus. And I believe that is the studio's website. That's not a good sign. So this looks like a survival horror game in VR on the Titanic as it is sinking. Okay. That's a choice. Why?
Reasons.
Okay. Oh, also time travel's involved. You've apparently traveled back in time to the Titanic to discover why someone else disappeared when they went back to the Titanic. And I guess you deal with spooky bullshit. This is nonsense. But the kind of nonsense I wouldn't mind seeing a playthrough of, just to see what's there. It sounds better than the animated sequel to Titanic, Titanic 2. Yes, there is an animated movie called Titanic 2 that is a sequel to Titanic. The event the actual things that happened to the Titanic, mind you, not the James Cameron movie. Don't ask me why I know, I just do. Alright, on the 15th, Gunvolt Records Synchronal for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. A little to the left for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. Played Up for Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Survivor Man VR The Descent for PlayStation 5. Top Web Search 23 for Switch. On the 16th, Lethal Company for iOS, Mario vs. Donkey Kong for Switch, Seaport Tycoon 2024 for Switch, Skull and Bones for Series X and PlayStation 5, The Legends of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3, and Legends of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 Deluxe Edition for PlayStation 5, Your Majesty for Switch. On the 17th, Cyber Taxi Simulator for Switch. On the 18th, Slave Zero X for PlayStation 5. Kaiju Carl swears by this game. He adores this game. It's an old side-scrolling beat 'em up essentially, but it looks really good. And it's got like fighting game inputs and stuff. On the 20th, Balatro for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Played Up for Switch. Gwomp 2 for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. On the 21st, Triumph Caliber's Guide to Past Delicacies for Xbox One Series X and Switch. The FF14 Online Realm Reborn Beta for Series X. Slave Zero X for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. I think I might have skipped. So I know I saw it when I was doing them. Yeah, I did. Oh, Oh, I wasn't there yet. Okay. I thought I skipped a thing, but no, we weren't there yet. On the 22nd, Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass Wave 2 Side Order is out on Switch. That's why I thought we skipped. Or I skipped.
Good one.
Hopefully it's good. Unless it's bundled with Switch Online, I won't be able to play it, probably. I don't know if, is it? No. Because the other Splatoon stuff is not bundled with Switch Online, is it?
I don't remember if this was going to be or not, though.
I know the first one isn't because I don't have it.
Okay, then yeah, it's not. Or it might be with the... Well,
when
no,
Side Order
'cause
comes out.
You've got the...
Octo Expansion's bundled with Switch Online, but not Splatoon 3's.
Maybe I did go ahead and get it.
I think you did because you have Splatoon, because you have the lobby.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go to the 23rd with Broforce for PlayStation 4. Dino Race Dinosaur Ride Ranch for Switch. The Jump Guys for Switch. And that is pretty much it. The full list is in our notes as usual. Anything else?
No.
All right, then. Tomorrow, it's Spider-Man of the DLC 3 variety as we race it and find out which one of us remembers it more.
I've not touched it.
I'm going to boot up my save file and do stuff that isn't the story to get back in the swing of the control stuff, but I don't think I'll touch the story stuff.
Get back in the swing of it.
I didn't mean to do the pun there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, next Thursday, I'll be continuing Ghost Trick. Next Friday is... Oh, crap.
Wonder Archipelago?
Yes,
right?
Wonder Archipelago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to go try to find it. But yeah, Wonder Archipelago. And then next Saturday, we continue Kamen Rider Saber. And we get to the final form episode. Hooray! But you've got stuff between now and then, too.
Yep. Pretty much Monday and Thursday will be continuation of Archipelagos. Currently doing a Doom and Celeste one. Wednesday, if I don't decide to change it to Tuesday, I'm just gonna put it that way, will be more Forkniff. Yeah, that's pretty much that there.
All right, then. So, if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Ship it away that affiliate goal at TGS Network on Mastodon on social and at TGS on Twitter and maybe eventually on Blue Sky because it feels like everyone's going to Blue Sky. So we'll probably go to Blue Sky. I don't know. We'll get you updates on when we go live. An exclamation point Discord chat is link. Drop by, say hi. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.